Hello, I'm going to do my presentation on Neo-Assyrian treaties and loyalty oaths. First, I'd like to define what a treaty is. It is a formally concluded and ratified agreement between countries. And a loyalty oath is an oath that declares an individual's allegiance to the government and its institutions and disclaims any support of ideologies or any associations that oppose or threaten the government. I'd like to start with the 9th and 8th century. The first treaty we'll look at is Shamshi-Adad V with Marduk Zakir Shumi I. The treaty said that Shamshi-Adad shall not say anything bad about Marduk Ramni, which is probably a relative or another king. He could not even point an eye, toe, or finger at him. Then it talks about returning fugitives and captives, which was a problem then, because they'd run away from their masters, and then they'd have to be returned eventually. Whoever breaks this treaty, it says that may the gods curse them, and it lists a lot of gods with Marduk, Nabu, Anu, Ilil, Matilu, Ea, Shamash, Sin, Adad, Zababa, and basically says that they'll destroy you by floods, droughts, famine, and many bad fates will happen to you if you break the treaty, and that no one will have mercy on you. The second treaty we have is the Treaty of Ashur-Neri V with Matu-Ilu. At the start, the tablet was fractured, so we don't have the beginning, but then it says that Matu-Ilu and his descendants become like a wasteland and his people crushed, and that he will be sacrificed like a lamb, basically torn apart. Then it says how the gods will curse them after Assyria destroys them, which is already terrible. Then it includes many dittos by the gods that the cities will curse by Matu-Ili if he breaks the treaty. Alright, now we have the 7th century with Sennacherib's succession treaty. Sennacherib is worried about his succession, so he sets up this treaty to protect Ashur-Haddon, which was his son. It says if you protect Ashur-Haddon, then the gods will not curse you, but if you do not protect him, they will curse you and all of your lands. Then we'll have the Accession Treaty of Ashur-Haddon, and that basically says that anyone that speaks badly about him will be heavily punished by Ashur, which was father of the gods, and also several other gods. Ashur-Haddon's treaty with Baal will be the next treaty we'll look at. And this one's unique because it says that a royal deputy has to be present to open any letter that is sent by Ashur-Haddon. It also says if one of Baal's ships wrecks in Assyria's coastline, then Ashur-Haddon's ship is now that. The list of the cities that Baal is allowed to trade with is also given, and Ashur-Haddon promises safety for any trader. Let's see. Next one will be the Loyalty Oath of Ashur-Haddon. It's a very fragmented tablet, but he seems to be saying that his city, his descendants, and himself require loyalty. Alright, the Zakutu Treaty, which is unique because it was by the queen of Sennacherib's, who was also mother of Ashur-Haddon. It's unique because it's a woman's treaty, and the treaty was on behalf of her favorite grandson, Ashurbanipal. If anyone says something ugly or do anything evil to Ashurbanipal, it says, may the gods destroy you. And if you hear any plot or scheme about it, you have to tell her about it. The genre of all these is treaties and loyalty oaths. The goals is obedience, succession, loyalty, and to stay informed. Politically, they want full obedience from their vassals, provinces, and etc. Also, they need succession to be secure from father to son, because most of the time they'd be killed off. Religiously, the gods will always curse you if a treaty is broken. You also swore to the gods when making the treaty, and Marduk is the head god at this time. Culturally, submission or death from Assyria would happen. Many people were obedient because of fear. Socially, you have to live in fear and submission and obedience, and if you hear anything, you have to tell the king of Assyria. These materials are useful in understanding how Assyria managed to obtain obedience, through these treaties and how their government ran so well during this time period. The treaties make sense because if you basically threaten someone, you like basically get them to tell what you want them to do. It is also relatable today because our nations and governments make treaties and alliances, and when they do that, they threaten anyone who opposes them to go to war. It's currently like Trump telling North Korea to stop making nuclear missiles or we will wipe them out, basically.